Hi everyone, it's Mike Tham here from, well, I suppose owner of 3am Creations is one way to say it. um, I'll try and make this as short as possible, but there might be some parts where I'll just kind of like get a bit flustered and a bit confused about what I want to say to myself. Firstly, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone that has bought my fossil magnets recently. Usually I'm only used to getting orders of somewhere between like 5 to maybe maximum of 20 orders over a couple of months, and that's it. And normally they only consist of maybe 1 to maybe 5 magnets, depending on which one they get. If they get the Dyna set, then it increases to like just slightly over 10 pieces. But after James has uploaded that video, I've been in an absolute awe and overwhelmed with people's orders and the comments that have been left in his YouTube video. And I just want to say a huge thanks to everyone, because not only has that kind of like opened my eyes about how important the work that I do is, but that it's appreciated by people. For all my life, I've been literally suffering with anxiety and depression and other kind of like mental illness problems, because I've been listening to people in the sense of, who wants to buy this stuff? Who's interested in this anymore? No one cares about this sort of stuff. You need to focus on something else and do kittens and puppies. And that's not what my core being's about. I'm all about paleontology. I'm all about paleo art, and I absolutely love all kind of like things in stop motion of like old school practical stuff, rather than all like the CG stuff. As much as I appreciate CG and like what it has done in today's standards, but yeah, the love that you guys have shown for the magnets alone has just kind of been like a massive adrenaline boost for me, and yeah, it's much appreciated. So what I wanted to do is I just wanted to do a relatively quick video about what your money's been spent on for a start. Just give you a bit of a breakdown of what the processes are for the magnets at the moment, and where they are in conjunction with my MA work. So I'll do the MA side of it actually first. I am still currently writing my first year MA essay, which is part of my second year, goes towards my second year coursework. So I need to get, and that's been handed in tomorrow, so that needs to come priority. So I'm still writing that at the moment. I'm more or less finished on it. It's just tweaking a few bits, getting the right layouts and stuff like that. For something that's effectively you're writing about where your inspiration and everything comes from, and there's a lot of faffing around with it. If anyone ever decides to do a master's degree, I'll tell you now, it's a lot. It's not just a case of sitting down and just doing the work that I thought. There's a heck of a lot more writing involved than what I initially expected. And for someone that suffers with dyslexia, dyscalculia, and I'm pretty sure that I'm also on the autistic spectrum somewhere as well, so I'm still trying to get tested for that side of things. I'm not getting the 100% support that I should be getting, but I just got to work what they've given me effectively. So yeah, so that's the MA side of it. In terms of your orders, I'll see if I can swing this around. Yeah, here we go. So this is part of what your money's been spent on. It's a notice board for me to actually properly get these things written down, because before it was scraps of paper lying around the desk, and it gets cumbersome and it gets difficult, whereas now I can put it on a board, and it just makes it a lot easier for me to just turn around and say, right, I need to focus on this, this, and this today, which is a hell of a lot more easier to do. So we've got the we can't see it actually. So this pile here, that's the orders that are more or less complete. So everything that's on the wall behind me is pretty much either finished or in need of finishing to be sent out to people, and that should be happening at some point next week. Here, however, is the to-do board. So this is, there you go. Yeah, so this is everybody's orders. This is majority. I think there's about 10 orders there that are finished. This is the remaining 90, so that's a lot of people to get through, so bear with me on that one. I will get round to them, and I have got a system in place which I'll discuss later on. So down here, if you can see it, yeah, that's the workspace as it is. As you can tell, the room is not that big. It is literally a cot room. When we were told this place was a 2-bed property, I was hoping it was more kind of like a children's room, whereas what we've actually got here, and this was the best property in the whole area, to be honest with you as well. This is a cot room. It's only big enough for either a small child or a crib, nothing else. So this is not big enough at all for me. So I need to get myself a proper workspace, and little shelf of previously unfinished works that will be finished one day. So behind me, so these are the finished orders and orders to be made up. And behind that as well, you have the master wall. So all those magnets that you see there, they were the ones that were shown on Gaming Beaver's channel. And then, of course, other masters that have been shown on other channels like Jurassic Collectibles. And then over here we have the workspace, which tends to be for casting the magnets and the silicon as well. And of course, what else your money's been spent on? A lot more, there we go, a lot more silicon, a lot more resin, and a finer belt sander that doesn't leave as tighter grooves in there. Because at the moment, what I used to do was have a table with a piece of sandpaper on there, and I would just rotate the sandpaper around until the back became smooth. When I got the belt sander, it only came with a high grain grip belt, so that would take a majority of it off, but I'd still have to do the sandpaper, whereas now I've got a new belt that does a finer grain, so hopefully I shouldn't have to do any of the sandpaper on a flat surface at all. I'm hoping that's the case. It's the only belt that I can find of that particular finer grain, but we'll see. And yeah, in terms of the order of what I'll be doing by people's orders, I normally tend to go DIY, Chrome, the Jurassic Park and the Jurassic World colour schemes, then the Darkstone, and then light and yellow. Depending on which colour scheme I go for, sometimes it's only 1 or 2 coats, but things like the Lockwood and the Darkstone and the Lightstone, they require a base coat, 1 wash of colour, 2 secondary wash of colour, and then it's all dry brushing and highlights and low lights and dirt and all sorts of stuff, just to kind of like give it that more real world look. And this is why I keep saying to people, you know, if you want this sort of thing, you want to paint it yourself, you know, by all means, buy a DIY one. I don't mind. In fact, I encourage that sort of work because I like to see other people's work in this sort of stuff. But it also kind of like takes a lot of pressure off me that if I've got 100 orders that I need to complete and another 100 more come in, then I feel guilty that it's only just me doing, you know, the work for 200 people, and they're sat at home twiddling their thumbs. And so far, everyone has been really understanding. They've all been supportive that I've got to do a master's degree and I'm not just sat around twiddling my thumbs. And if it wasn't for the master's degree, I would be jumping on this and, you know, getting stuff done quickly. And I'd be sculpting as well. I'd be constantly sculpting, which is the other thing I want to say for this video as well, that if you have a suggestion of something that you want to see in future magnet designs, because I get a lot of people asking if I can do this skeleton, if I can do that skull, am I going to be doing this, am I going to be doing that? It's basically yes to everything. They all will happen eventually, but it all happens in stages. So if I see something that's popular, for example, when Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom was being released, I wanted to make sure that the Spinosaur had got in there, but I didn't realise that the Baryonyx was going to be a feature. Otherwise, what I would have done is made a duplicate sculpture and tailored it so it suited more of a Baryonyx look, because I don't think the Spinosaur has that much similarities between the Baryonyx and Suchomimus. So those other variations of skulls need to be adjusted to, rather than just relabeling the same magnet design as, oh, it's a Spinosaur, but it's also a Baryonyx, because I don't want to do that. The idea of my magnets is to educate as much as to bring joy to people in other aspects. So yeah, so if you guys can comment, I'm going to do 3 posts, like what skulls would you like to see, what skeletons would you like to see, and what fossils would you like to see. If you can comment in each of those with which ones you would like to see, but then if someone's made us a comment on, say, if someone's already commented with an Allosaur, like that comment, because then for me, I'm able to see which people want to see that particular fossil first, or if I think it's popular, I might be proven wrong by the majority of the public then saying, well, no, because we would actually rather see a Gorgosuchus skull, for example. So, you know, there's different ways that I keep track of this, especially this is how I'm starting to see and understand how my autism works, in that I need to see things in a very clear and bold fashion. So if it's not something where it's, you know, blatantly obvious for me, I tend to either lose track of it or lose sight of it in some sense. So yeah, so any kind of like understanding and help on that factor for helping me give you the stuff that you want to see. And another something someone else suggested to me before was, am I ever going to be doing dinosaur bus? And the answer to that is yes. The bus will be something in the future. I did some sketches of those bus, which I might be able to dig one out actually, for one of the Jurassic Dunes a few years ago. I don't think I can get to it. No, I can't get to it, unfortunately. Damn. Anyway, if you go on one in my channel, you probably see a couple of the videos that I did for sculpting them, and they were kind of like a prototype test sort of thing to see whether, one, I could sculpt in that sort of scale, which I've proved to myself that I can, and it's also going to be something where, again, it's something I want to try and make something that's affordable, that's achievable, that it's not something that's going to be too complicated for people to customize for themselves. So there probably won't be any kind of feathered variations of these dinosaurs, but that doesn't mean to say that because it's a model you can't kit bash it effectively and create your own you know, feathered dinosaurs, or heck, you know, go dino crazy. I don't know, do what you like to it, you know. It's do whatever, you know, feels natural to you, and flexes your creativity, because at the end of the day, you know, creativity is what I like to bring to people, and I hope that it inspires them to be creative, and for their work to bring inspiration to other people, you know. So so yeah, so I think I'm going to try and wrap this up. I don't think there's anything else that I really want to cover, apart from the fact that I'm really sorry that my room is an absolute state. Oh yeah, by the way, it's my birthday today. My fiance got me an Indoraptor, which I was not expecting because it's not cheap. So so yeah, happy birthday to me, I suppose. um, yeah, so if there's any kind of like, you know, comments that people want to ask me a question about something, you know, if you've seen something in the video and you're curious about, you know, what was the why sculptures from before, you know, why only do this way, why don't you get a bigger house, that sort of thing, I'm more than happy to answer those questions. And if need be, I'll try and get over this kind of like anxiety issue that being in front of the camera is, it's exposing for me, and it's uncomfortable, but I have to kind of push myself through it, not to be kind of like this hidden thing, because there would be a day that I would love to appear with the Gaming Beaver and talk about magnets rather than have him read out if it's a 500-word essay, because I do feel bad doing that to people, and it's nice to meet up with people as well, especially people that are kind of like, you know, just as big a fans as me in the community, rather than just being little old me sort of thing in my tiny little house in somewhere in Lancashire. So yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here, I think. So thank you for watching. Thank you for understanding that, you know, the master's degree is important and that should come first. Thank you for your patience in waiting for the magnets. Thank you to everyone that's ordered stuff. Thank you to the people that have said that they want more of this stuff. And yeah, just thank you for bringing someone that was in a very, very, very dark place earlier this month and has put them on a very positive and light, encouraging path. So thank you, everyone.